Well, welcome back to Scouting for History. Cross your fingers, say a prayer. Today, hopefully, is a lucky day. I'm back at this 1690 house neighborhood, and today I've got my 13th permission. Now, that should be a lucky day, unless you have triskaidekaphobia. I don't. On to the next. The first good find of the day, an old two-piece button. It looks like it might be a military button, might be a civilian button. No, I see an eagle on there. Awesome. Well, if the darn GoPro would stay on long enough, that's definitely a two-piece eagle button. 1800s. I'll do some research on it, clean it up. You'll see it right here. Outstanding. There's still stuff here. Let's keep going. On to the next. And now, not too deep, a nickel. It's just a Jefferson. On to the next. Hoping to find something a little older than a Jefferson nickel. I'm not quite sure what it was. It looks like some kind of a buckle. It's got a tongue that moves around. Got balls on it. Might have just been a decorative sash buckle or something. I'll poke around, see if there's any more of it in the home, but that's cool. On to the next. And now a really heavy brass shotgun shell, UMC, probably early 1900s. Awesome. Old stuff is still here. On to the next. Oh, finally a wheat penny at least. There's got to be more old stuff here, so let's keep going. Well, and another relic from the farm. This was a, I forget what you call it, but you would attach cables to it and you would use it to pull things tight, tighten it in the middle, and it'd draw it closer. Well, here and there is some old stuff in the ground. There's the back of a pocket watch, or the front. Not very decorative, very plain. Maybe they didn't have a whole lot of money here. Was a farm back in the 1800s, but hey, let's keep going. I filled the hole in. There's the rest of the pocket watch. I might give that to the homeowner for inviting me over. Cool. Yeah, it's not going to go back together now. Awesome. On to the next. And now a dog tag that came all the way from Kentucky. On to the next. Now, I always say it's unlucky to be superstitious. Well, seriously, it's un-American to be superstitious of the number 13. I mean, the number 13 appears over and over again throughout any kind of images about America. I mean, obviously 13 stripes on the American flag, and they represent the 13 colonies. The original flag had 13 stars as well. Now, as an example, if you look at large sense, if there's stars, there's always 13. On the shield nickel, on the back, there's 13 stars. If you look at the back of the Barber quarter, there's an eagle with a shield. Now, the shield obviously has 13 stripes, but above the eagle, there's 13 stars. And in the eagle's left hand, or talon, or whatever eagles have, there's 13 arrows representing the 13 colonies, providing mutual defense against anyone who wants to do us harm. In the other hand, or talon, is an olive branch, and the olive branch has 13 leaves. On the U.S. Great Seal, it actually has an olive branch that has 13 leaves and 13 olives. Again, representing the 13 colonies. But not even that. If you look, the eagle's holding a banner that reads with the national motto, a pluribus unum, which has 13 letters. Coincidence? Is it? Well, yes, it is. But it does have 13 letters. So here in the United States, 13 isn't really an unlucky number. It appears all over the place. On to the next. Well, it's some kind of a clip or clasp or something like that. I thought it was a hinge at first, but there's no way to mount it. It's got a bar in the back and something to clip onto, so it was used for holding something up or something shut or something like that. On to the next. Now that's a hinge. Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful old hinge. It's a shame it's broken. It could have been repurposed. But that would look nice hanging on a wall. I'll see if the owner wants to keep that. Awesome. On to the next. And now I believe it's a bridal rosette. Awesome. Cool. On to the next. And now a shotgun shell. But there's even more imagery of the number 13. If you look on the back of a $1 bill, you'll see the unfinished pyramid. It's a representation of the foundation of the country. It's got 13 levels, and it's unfinished because they knew there was more states to come eventually. Above it is the Eye of Providence looking over us, and the Latin phrase "Annuit Captus," which means he approves of what we're doing. So there you have it, the number 13. Well, there's something high ringing in the clump. It's in here. And it is, I think it's just a wheat penny. No, it's a dime, clad dime. On to the next. Another pretty good target here. It is a copper memorial that's been hit by the lawnmower. On to something better. Well, it's a key. It's not old, but it's something better than a zinc penny. On to the next. Well, I found a brass handle to something. Might be a valve turn-off, and I found a marble. Awesome. That's cool. You don't find marbles very often. Usually you do when there's toys in the ground and the kids were playing. But that popped out when I dug up that handle. On to the next. Well, the legend had no problem sniffing that out. It's not much of a find. It's a little tiny suspender clip. Tiny little thing that might have been for, you know, some kind of undergarment or something. Who knows? But that's a good sign. On to the next. And that was a squirrely signal. It gave a good squeak, but iron. And it was that hook in that pin, old iron pin, that was giving a good signal every now and then. On to the next. You never know till you dig it up. And a pretty common find, a harmonica reed, but this one doesn't seem to be made out of copper. I'm not quite sure what it's made out of, but it's very crumbly. Might have been a mixture of copper and zinc, kind of like the modern pennies. It's starting to fall apart. On to the next. And a scratchy, bouncy, awful signal was terrible, hard to find. It's a tiny little butterfly. Awesome. I don't think it's precious, but it is to me. It's missing some of the enamel. On to the next. And now a little tag. It's got writing on it, but I can't read it. I'll clean it up and see if I can't figure it out. On to the next. Well, I don't think it's colonial. A colonial Volkswagen Bug. On to the next. Well, I thought I was going to be digging a clad quarter, but it's an aluminum token. I'll clean up and see if I can't figure out what it was. But that's cool. I like tokens. It looks fairly old too. On to the next. And down here, it's an old bell, maybe from a phone. Probably from a phone. Early phone. That's cool. I'll put it with my bell collection. On to the next. And finally, another old item. It's a little tiny flat button, like a cuff button. I'll clean up and see if there's anything on it. On to the next. Well, that's going to do it for today's hunt. Didn't light the world on fire, but hey, it's always good to get out on a nice spring day. On to the next one. Stay tuned. Don't forget, hit like and subscribe. See you then.